Yeah, very good afternoon, students. Today I'll be discussing about the introduction to civil engineering. As a revision, module 1, we'll be discussing about important questions which will be happening, right? So going for the introduction to civil engineering and engineering mechanics, your subject code is 21 CIV 24. The various fields of civil engineering, which is a very important question. So fields of civil engineering is a very good. In video examination, you have surveying, you have geotechnical engineering, structural engineering, transportation engineering, environmental engineering, hydraulics, water resource, irrigation, building materials, and construction technology. So totally 9 are there. Among 9 various fields of civil engineering, you have to explain either to any 2 or 3. Such like state way explain any 2, or in specific they'll ask engineering, or instead they may ask explain hydraulics engineering and water resource engineering. So you have to be prepared well with all 9 types. Okay, so keep in mind that you'll be talking about surveying, geotechnical engineering, structural engineering, transportation engineering, environment, water resource, building materials, and construction. The other way to remember is you can keep it as mind as in mind as surveying S, geotechnical G, structures S, transportation T, E for environment, H for hydraulics, water resource, building materials, and construction technology. So in this alphabetical form also you can keep in mind. So moving further, surveying, which is very, very important for civil engineering. Without surveying, you cannot construct any of the shelters or buildings or any industries. You can see here the purpose of surveying is make maps or maps, whatever you see the India map outline, the relative position of objects, right? Where you come across when you travel on a road or on railways or anywhere, you come across some milestone or some important points on the road across. How do you locate? Is that anybody will come and place that stone there? No. How it is possible to locate that point and place the stone is a big question that is only possible by using surveying. And elevations. Elevations means I have to fix up the height of one object. How do I do? Only with the help of surveying. Here is a picture representing people using surveying, major surveying instrument. You can see here one person is holding, this is called as a ranging rod, right? And here is a total station. And you can see some of the total station being used here also. And one is a theodolite, leveling staff. So these are the different major instruments what you come across in surveying, which are purposely introduced to measure the reduced levels, different levels of the object, right? Surveying is a vast syllabus and vast work it covers to take up the construction. Before with an empty site, you can see here there is an empty site. How to start the construction? I have to locate the major important points. How to locate? For example, you can see in this picture, you can see there is a fencing, right? There's some area being taken up already. How did we fix up? This is all only possible by doing surveying. That is how we get the India map. How we can place the outline of the India map only by which is being carried out by the survey. This is a very, very important field of civil engineering. Coming next, it is geotechnical engineering. Geotechnical engineering. Geo means it's a very good meaning. It is nothing but a soil or earth. Soil or earth. So geotechnical engineering, we'll be studying about what is soil. Soil, how do you study means what? We'll be talking about what type of soil it is, what are the properties of soil it is. We also call it as earth, right? At Bangalore, you find different types of soils in different areas, right? More or less, the color will be varying, but all it is at very having a mineral. There's a mineral depending on which we call it as a soil. A mineral type of mineral, it can be illite or it can be mortamorlite or it can be kaolinite. There are different types of minerals accordingly in the soil. So based on these mineral type, we classify the soil. So now, as of now, we'll talk about the soil property. Soil property is nothing but distinguishing the soil into plastic limit, liquid limit, and shrinkage limit. There are different properties of the soil, right? How do we do all these tests? We have the laboratory setup, we have the instruments available, we have the procedure to conduct according to the code. Then we can find out different soil properties, and we find out the fineness of the soil. Fineness is nothing but we'll be talking about the fine, whether it is fine or coarse. So that those things will be covered in the soil property. One of the major important property is the moisture content. The moisture content is a very important. Without the moisture percentage available in the soil, it is not possible to continue or take up any experiment. Then safe bearing construction, safe bearing capacity. Today we are there in our house, in our college, right? Every place, but under shelter. That shelter is a building. How the building is standing on the soil? It is all standing on the soil because of the foundation. So how to drive a foundation? Where it is standing, this foundation, give a thought of it. How the foundation is standing on the soil only because of safe bearing capacity. That soil is very strong to take up the strength of the building, strength of the factory or the industry. You may ask a question, if the soil is weak, ma'am, at every place we don't find the soil to be very strong. It can be weak also. Then there are improvement techniques, geotechnical improvement techniques are available with us to increase the bearing capacity of the soil. Coming to the next, ground improvement techniques, right? So this is again, it is talking about the safe carrying capacity, wherein we find the weak percentage of soil existing, where the soil is not ready to take up the building coming up or the structure coming up. So then I have to go for improvement. I cannot go for some other sites. In Bangalore, it is not available. Any other place, I cannot afford going for any other different site. Chalo Baba, this soil is not good. I can move for this other type of a site or different place of a site. No, not possible. So what is possible is I have to improve. So similarly, you find this improvement techniques have been applied in roads, tunnels, dams, canals, etc. In roads, you find that there are different like there's a good network of road in Bangalore, in Karnataka, in India, internationally, globally, across you find this roads network is very good. But how these roads have been laid, have you given a thought of it? It is purely laid on the soil. The soil is not good, not firm. How do we compact? How do you confirm it is a strong one? By compaction, we have to do it. This is a rigorous process. We have to do it. You can see that somebody is laying the tar is only the last layer. What you are looking at the road making of road. That is not the only first and last layer. There are number of layers underneath the pavement. So which is has to be very strong. So only it is possible for the trucks, heavy vehicle movements can be observed. Similarly, in the tunnels, how do you drive a tunnel into a rock, into a mountain, right? It is very difficult. We have to have a very good equipment, or the major facilities of the equipment should be available. How the dams are being constructed. So all these challenges come across when we are talking about the safe bearing capacity of the soil. Coming up next, right, the structural engineering. Structural engineering is a vast engineering what we have today, wherein we carry out the load analysis, we carry out the design of the components. It can be in terms of beams, columns, and slabs, and find the suitable size. Very important. How do you fix up the size of the column? You can see in the classroom, the beams. At home, you can see the columns, walls. How do we fix up? It is all based upon the design, what we carry out for the beams. Who will do that? A structural engineer. How the structural engineer will do? He'll calculate the load coming on each component of the structure. Beam, columns, slabs, footings, foundation, many things are there as a component, right? And ensuring the safety of a structure is very important criteria for a structural engineer. Here in the diagram, you can see this is a simple isolated column. You can see a multi-story building which is under the construction. You can see the analysis taking up. So overall, we can see here, coming back once again, we can see various fields of civil engineering or 9, surveying, how it is important, geotechnical, how it is important towards the soil, and coming to the structure, how it is important to the analysis of the structure. Okay, thank you all. Thank you.